Hello and welcome back. My name is Martin Sanders. This is the Football Martin channel and you're watching The Transfer Show. Coming up in this episode, Southampton make a £12 million move for playmaker and Middlesbrough midfielder Finn Azaz. Then Brereton-Díaz, he is attracting interest from championship rivals. Everton are back in talks to sign Tyler Dibling, and West Ham United have had a second bid rejected for Mateus Fernandes. Before we do get into the show, thank you for tuning in. If you're new here, make sure you smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and please do get involved in the conversation below. Brilliant community here of Southampton fans. Let's hear your thoughts on all these stories, especially this first one around Finn Azaz, because the Daily Mail Sport have reported that Saints are discussing a deal in excess of £12 million for the Republic of Ireland international. Azaz scored 12 goals in 45 championship appearances last season, and Southampton see him as one of those players that could help us back to the Premier League. Middlesbrough, though, do highly rate the 24-year-old, and Saints will push to signing him, according to this report. But Boro, they have interest for their players from other clubs as well, because their star man, Hayden Hackney, is on the verge of joining Ipswich Town, and they are facing a second bid from Portman Road for Hackney. Will they let their two biggest stars leave this summer? They do have a new manager there as well, Rob Edwards. But I want to have a little bit of a closer look at Finn Azaz and see what he did last season, because I didn't watch loads of championships. I'm not going to come on here and pretend I know what sort of player he is, what he's like, and all about him, because I don't. But I've had a good look at his stats. I've seen him play a bit, so I've seen glimpses of him, and he's always quite impressed me. Watched him a bit during his time when he was at Plymouth. He had a good spell at Plymouth, didn't he? Very good spell. But I'll have a look at his career. We'll have a look back at what he's done in the last season, because looking at it, his last season in the Championship, looking at the numbers, they were very good. They were very good. If you're a Boro fan and you're tuning in, I would love to get your opinions on his season last year. How did he play? And would you be disappointed to see him go? I've read a few tweets once this story was out in the public domain today, and Boro fans seem quite disappointed and that they want a bit more for him. And there's also talk that another story that I'm going to bring to you very shortly is that they are also linked to take a player from Southampton. So there could be a potential cash plus player in this, potentially. I'm going to give you my thoughts on it very, very shortly. But let's tuck into his stats from last season for the 24-25 championship campaign. This is, so it's championship games only. He played 45 games. He scored the 12 goals. His XG was 9.53, so he did outscore his XG. Assists, he got 11 assists, a whopping 123 shots, with 40 of those being on target. His pass accuracy was quite low for the division and certainly his team. It was 74.4%. He created 88 chances and he won 55 fouls. All these stats are from FTMOB. It's a great website for player stats. Other stats that I've not got on your screen at this moment in time are around his defending. 28 tackles won. It was quite high for his for his team last year. His percentage of tackles won 71%. He won 133 of his duels. Not great in the air. His aerial duels were quite low. Just 42% of those he won, and he only won 16 in the end. His discipline for the season was decent. Just the 6 yellow cards in the league, and he didn't pick up any red cards. So, thoughts on this one, Saints fans? Get involved in the conversation below. Well, he started his career at West Bromwich Albion. He joined at the age of 9 and worked through their academy, and he ended up with a loan spell at Cheltenham Town from West Bromwich Albion. He then did get a move to Aston Villa. He was then loaned out to Newport County, where in 45 matches he scored 7 goals. He then had another loan, which was to Plymouth Argyle, where he did impress. And that's where I started to see glimpses of him And there was a lot of talk around clubs wanting to sign him. And I think actually Saints were linked with him a long time back. And during that time at Plymouth, he played 34 matches. He got 8 goals. And his form was very good. If there's any Plymouth fans that watched him, love to get your opinions on him as well. He did have a second spell on loan at Plymouth as well. And then he was signed permanently to go to Middlesbrough, where he's spent the last season and had a very good year. The reported fee was around £2 million, I think it was at the time. Approximately 2.9 million is what I'm reading. Whether that's right or not, I don't know, but do get involved. And you can check that and put it in the comments box below. So, would you take him at Southampton? That is the big question. I certainly would, from what I've seen. We need that creative number 10. Jack Rodoni is definitely not going to happen by the looks of it. Another story today by a Sky Sports correspondent is that he wants to stay and play at Coventry City. He is not interested in leaving Coventry City. He wants to play under Frank Lampard, and I can understand it. They're going to be I think they'll be in the promotion race for the top 2, to be honest. So I don't see Rodoni coming. The stories around Spurzian, they're still rumbling on, but it's looking more and more unlikely as the days go. It looks like they're just trying to bid him off to clubs, and it's getting quite boring, really. That one will rumble right to the end of the transfer window. There's no doubt about that. I do think a lot of our business is going to be done late in this window, which I don't think any of us want to see, and I think it's obviously making a lot of the fan base feel a little bit on edge. And I'll be honest, I feel a little bit on edge about a few things at this moment in time, because we know we need to get players in. One man we probably do need to get out is the next story, and that's Ben Brereton-Díaz. He's had a pretty tough time at Southampton, hasn't he? He's not set the world alight by any stretch of the imagination. There was a story I read today, and it wasn't a website that I normally read. It was just from a link that I was shared by a friend, and they're saying that it was an exclusive. It was Sports Boom was the website. No idea who they are, but they're saying it's an exclusive story that Sheffield United, West Brom and Middlesbrough are all fighting over Ben Brereton-Díaz. They're all fighting over him. Jeez, well, this is good news. This is music to my ears. The Chilean international failed to score in 13 games for Southampton, but on loan at Sheffield United, he did score 4 in 17 last season. But I don't think he massively impressed them. So I'm intrigued that they're back in for him. Will Saints loan him, or could they potentially do a deal with Middlesbrough? Because it is, like I said, reported that Middlesbrough are interested in him. And if Saints want Finn Azaz, could there be a cash plus deal with Brereton-Díaz? Who knows? Potentially. It's got potential, hasn't it? Clubs do it. But he is a player to definitely get out the door. I think Southampton will try and cash in if they can. One player that probably doesn't feature in the season ahead. Give me all your thoughts in the chat below. Would you do a deal to get Brereton-Díaz out and maybe look to give a cash plus him for Finn Azaz? Right. Everton and Tyler Dibling. That story's rumbling again. This is getting really boring for me, and I've probably had enough of reading about it. You've probably heard enough of me talking about it, but I do want to cover every single element of our transfer window. I want to cover every story here on the channel. That is why I'm talking about it right now. It does fascinate me, the transfer window, and the stories do fascinate me. There are talks apparently back on between Everton and Southampton over Tyler Dibling. The Toffees are eager to strengthen their youth ranks and see Dibling as a long-term talent, and Everton have been biding their time apparently since that £40 million bid that they had rejected, and they are looking closer to bidding towards £50 million, and they're waiting to see if there is a compromise that can be reached for the teenager. I reckon this one will go right to the deadline. It will be something that happens around deadline day if Tyler Dibling goes. But the good news was that he and Fernandes were both at a signing session on Wednesday down at St Mary's. They opened the doors, the club, to 500 fans, 500 predominantly young fans that wanted to go and get signatures and selfies with their favourite players. A brilliant thing that the club did. Absolutely superb during the summer holidays. Absolutely brilliant for the kids. So loads of great photographs across social media today. And both Tyler Dibling and Fernandes were there. And that would have been great for all the young fans. But it's good that they're involved. That is for sure. Will Steele was down there at St Mary's today as well. And talking about Mateus Fernandes, well, that second bid has come in from West Ham United, and they haven't offered that much more for him, really. It all seems quite embarrassing. They've come back with a bid now of around 30 million plus 2 million in add-ons. The report I read earlier was that the bid really isn't enough to get the deal moving, but the Hammers are expected to return again with an improved approach. So it looks like Graham Potter and West Ham are very, very keen to take him to the London Stadium. There's a massive gap in the valuation, although West Ham believe the player's agent is pushing to get things to move, and he is almost, probably all over this deal will be the agent. Agents are a big issue, and he will be in the player's ear. There is no doubt about it. I did read a couple of days ago that Fernandes was keen on a move away, but Will Steele has got him in the squad, and why he's here, he will definitely use him because he wants to play, which is the most important thing. Right, I've wrapped up everything I wanted to cover in today's video. Give me all your thoughts to these stories. Can Saints get Brereton-Díaz out the door in the next week? Can they get these players in they need? It's nice to hear a link to a player because we've not heard loads of links other than Spurzian, and it's emerged today, Finn Azaz. I'm very keen to see if Azaz comes in because from what we're seeing, it could be a deal that they could get over the line. Give me all your thoughts. I'll see you again in another video very, very soon.